He'd only been president for 6 days, but by the end of this meeting, 22 men would be dead, and the rest terrified for life. This isn't a movie. This is real history. What happened inside that hall in 1979 is one of Saddam Hussein's darkest games. We're in Iraq in 1979. The newly appointed president has called his fellow party members to a meeting in a local theater hall in Baghdad. His name is Saddam Hussein. He's only been president for a little under a week, but Iraq is his, and he wants everyone to know it. It's July. The temperature outside is pushing 40 degrees Celsius. The hall is hot, blisteringly hot. As Saddam takes the stage, he takes his time, shuffles a few papers, looks at his notes. Shortly before their newly appointed president arrived, one of his men appeared on stage. A terrible plot against the president and against Iraq has been uncovered, he informs the crowd. A group of high-ranking party members has conspired to remove Saddam Hussein from power. And then he reveals, all the guilty parties are in this room, right now. The crowd sits frozen in silence. The president is in total control. Then Saddam calls a man to the stage. A tall, slender, middle-aged man starts walking down the aisle. His name is Makiya Abdul Hussein. He's part of the Revolutionary Command Council. He's a powerful man. But just a short while ago, he had opposed Saddam in a meeting. It was a mistake. He walks onto the stage, stands behind a microphone, and then, slowly, he begins confessing to crimes of wanting to overthrow Saddam Hussein. Meanwhile, Saddam takes a seat by a long table full of microphones and lights a thick Cuban cigar. I was the one behind the plot against the new president, the man says. It was me who tried getting others to join in. But it's a lie. Nothing of what he admits on stage is true. What really happened? He's been thoroughly tortured. Told that if he doesn't go up on that stage and say he planned the plot against Saddam, the torturers will rape his wife and daughter, right in front of him. He has no choice but to obey, and so he does, to save his family. Makiya lies about himself and his fellow party members' involvement in the plot to overthrow Saddam's new regime. Once he's finished, Saddam takes the floor again. He's in no rush. He lights his cigar and then asks out into the room, what means should be used against these traitors? A pause. You know the answer, he says. There is no other way than the sword. The terrified party members in the theater hall begin to clap, desperately. What else could they do? Then Saddam gives an instruction to those assembled in the hall. When I have read out your name, you shall stand up, recite the party's slogan, and leave the room. And so he begins reading out names, one by one. They must rise from their seats, say the slogan, and leave the room. They haven't been told where they're going or what's waiting for them on the other side of the door, but they probably have an idea. Most people, though reluctantly, do as they're told. But one man is clearly confused. Me? I haven't done anything, he shouts as he stands up. Saddam doesn't even bother to look at him. He just coolly repeats, when I have read out your name, you shall stand up, recite the party's slogan, and leave the room. Silence. The man lowers his head and shuffles out. Saddam continues, until he has called out 68 names. He smiles, thanks those remaining in the hall for their loyalty. Everyone stands up once again, and begins a desperate standing ovation. Relief. Some even begin to cry. Even Saddam himself sheds a tear. Outside the hall, all the people whose names were called are gathered in trucks and driven to prison. In the following days, 68 trials are held. 22 men, including 5 members of the Revolutionary Command Council, are sentenced to death. Saddam appoints a number of executioners to carry out the killings. They're all members of the Ba'ath Party. None of them are executioners. They are gathered in the building where the plotters were allegedly planning their coup. And then, the condemned are dragged out into the adjoining yard, forced to their knees, blindfolded. Each executioner is handed a weapon, assigned a victim, and as they prepare to kill their former party comrades, they can hear the sound of a large crowd gathering outside. Saddam wants to make sure everyone knows what happens to those who disobey. More importantly, he wants to show off his power, willing or not. So he organizes a massive demonstration. Thousands of Iraqis gather with signs and flags, shouting praises to their new president, condemning the prisoners. And then, one by one, Saddam's former friends and party members are shot. Some executioners are so nervous and scared, they miss. They have to shoot their victims several times. It's gruesome, but Saddam is very satisfied. An excellent start to his presidential career, he thinks to himself. And so, the first official order of Iraq's newly appointed president has been carried out. What could be next?
5 months ago, Saddam Hussein started this cruel war against Kuwait. Tonight, the battle has been joined.